Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nyescia, and today I am going to talk about the final season of Shadows of Saintfour. If you could tell from this video and the previous one, especially the one I did about season 2, you can see that I completed. And all I have to say is season 3 didn't disappoint me at all. Now season 2, just a little teeny bit, just a bit and stuff, but season 3 did not disappoint me. Now with season 3, you have your third and I would say final villain, the Masked Man, and he does like a circus, but the circus that he do is a freak show type of circus where you have all like the freaks that like he shows and stuff like that, and they do little tricks or like whatever they decide to do, and this one was actually, I'm not gonna lie, it was very intense and stuff. Like your character, well, my character Gia, she did not care. I noticed that she did not care at all about the freak show, which is understandable because she doesn't like, well, it depending on what you do, because with I forgot to, was it, but yeah, I forgot to mention that like with season 3, and I think a little bit of season 2 as well, but mostly season 3, yeah, mainly season 3, you have this thing that's called like feeding your inner demon, starving your inner demon, and you can either feed it or starve it. I decided to starve it and stuff because I'm thinking like, yeah, no, we gonna go for the good ending and stuff like that, and that's what I thought. I love the fact that that's the one thing I love about Romance Club. You don't know what type of ending you're gonna get until like you reach the end. But oh, also let me go ahead and say spoiler alerts. I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, spoiler alerts. If you want to read, play this yourself, you can always go on Google Play or Apple Store and find Romance Club, and install it and play it yourself. And then you could come back and watch this video. Now with season 3, again, like I said, I was talking about like the villain is the Masked Man, and he has his own little circus. It's a freak show, that's what he calls it. And they come to Saintfour, and everything seems all fine and dandy until your character's mother goes missing. And when you find out like what's going on, because your character also is, she's very, and she's like, she's side-eyeing the Masked Man, because the Masked Man, something about him, it just isn't right to her. So yeah, she doesn't like him. She side-eyed him and things like that. And while that's going on, you also hear about like a painting that and you do hear about the painting. The painting is also brought up in season 2 as well. You hear about a painting that was stolen. You could be part, also I should say, you could also be part of the Black Dragons in season 3. I decided to do that because I thought like that would help, just in case if like something push comes to shove in the story. Because if there's one thing I could say about Shadows of Saintfour, with like 1, 2, and especially 3. What I could say is that, like, expect the unexpected. You always want to be prepared, and it's always better to have allies with people, whether you want them to be or not. So, for me, I decided to be a part of the Black Dragon. And if you want to have like a little romance with Aaron and Cherry, because they come into the picture, and you can either have a romance with either Cherry or Aaron if you want to. But yeah, during that time, your friend Candy, she's obsessed with the circus, aka the freak show. She's obsessed with it, and she's always inviting you to go, and of course you don't want to go and things like that. But the masked man's always been compelled to talk to you and things like that. And he's kind of like, I won't say he's grown accustomed to you, but you could tell that, like, yeah, he sees something in Gia and things like that. And so during this process, again, you're trying to find where your mom at, because she has disappeared. Not only that, but there's been a message that she left that said, "Help me." And so you feel like your mom's in trouble and things like that. And come to find out, the new freak that the masked man has acquired is actually your mother. He turned her into a freak, and he did that by putting the flowers. I forgot to mention the flowers from season 1 and season 2, because in season 1 they just popped up. In season 2, they was used to drug people, and in season 3 you could put them on the mask to make kind of like a glue to stick on like a person's face, to be attached to a person's face and things like that. And so, because like I said, the masked man, he makes masks, and of course you do end up saving your mom before she could forget about you, like before she could forget about you and her life that she had and stuff like that. And but like during the process, I know Derek's father, Sheriff Nixon, he ends up getting killed. But before he is killed, he did, like, and also it depends on, again, I want to say, like, I like the fact that it depends on, like, what your image is. You can have a low image or a high image. High image, things are going to come to you easy. Low image, you're probably going to have to pay more gems and things like that. I know with but yeah, like I was saying, Sheriff Nixon ends up getting killed, but before he did get killed, he actually called for backup, and backup is the reason why you, Derek, your mom, Bobby, and Candy are able to get away from the masked man. But before I forgot, excuse me, but before I get to that, I forgot to mention that the masked man also, he there was a painting that he was trying to get his hand on, that if Luke is your boyfriend, that your boyfriend Luke has, and there ends up being like a fire started because of the painting. Luke, depending on if you're close with Luke, Luke ends up surviving. If you kind of close with him but not too close, he ends up I don't know if because there's like middle choices, if I'm being honest, but I was dating him, so I got like basic I got the choice of like, hey, I was able to help him escape and things like that, and he ends up faking his death and things like that. I know that much. He ends up faking his death because of his sister, and I think after that, that's when y'all go to the circus and stuff like that, and you find you but no, you don't find out. I apologize because I I know like I forgot to talk about like the whole Luke situation because it is important because like depending on your relationship with him, you can either save him or he probably ends up dying. But because of my relationship with him, he ends up leaving and just like leaving the town while people know because people think he's dead and things like that because of his sister Adelaide. And then you end up going to the hospital, and then after you go to the hospital, you have like a little a dream about the masked man, and then you end up going to the circus, and that's where like you see Derek. You see Derek, Nixon, Bobby, and Candy. And then you also see your mom because again I forgot what they named her. Well, I didn't forget. I cannot pronounce it. Like I just can't. But I do know she went by a different name because he changed her and stuff like that. And I know you were able to change your mom back, like I said. And Sharon Nixon ends up being killed by the masked man. Of course, Derek, he's sad and stuff. And then, like, just when it seems like I have escaped because, like, while the masked man killed, Sheriff Nixon, that's how, like, y'all was able to escape and stuff. Like, he was fighting with Sheriff Nixon, and you was dragging out your mom while I think Kenny was dragging out Derek, and that's when Sheriff Nixon ends up getting killed by the masked man because the masked man ends up breaking his neck. Derek is mad about that, and of course they're trying to get away, but the masked man said like, "Oh, you think you got away? You didn't." And then it's like they back at his circus tent, but before he could do anything, the cops actually come, and he and his freak shows end up leaving, like disappearing. And that's when your character's like, I had enough. And she ends up secretly leaving and things like that. And then we go back to the present. And of course, Derek's saying like how like saying like what happened after she left, because she like G was like, no, I can't deal with this anymore. So she leaves, and of course, you can end up talking to him about it, you can end up not talking to him about it. But yeah, because she ends up leaving, he said he was mad at her, but he forgave her. He understand why she left and things like that. And he ended up basically being in foster care, but he ended up being with his father's he ends up living with his father's father, basically his grandfather. And y'all decide to hike because again, y'all trying to find Kenny and Bobby, because in the present they are missing and stuff like that. So while you find him, y'all stumble across Adelaide's house. Adelaide, she's still there. She got her hand covered because of the fire. And you also see Cherry and Aaron there as well. So it's kind of like a reunion because Aaron and Cherry were part of the Black Dragon. And of course, if you are dating Luke, you see him and stuff like that, and of course you talk to him and you tell him like you feel betrayed by him, and he tells you why he didn't come to see you and things like that. You end up making up, and then after that, the masked man comes for all of y'all, and because he says he needs more freaks, and so now it's like a battle to survive. Depending on what you choose, I know, because I chose courage, and I also chose to starve, the demon, to starve your inner demon. Your character is like she ends up kind of like sacrificing herself in a way so that the masked man could leave her and her friends alone, and um and while she did that, she meets Annette in the afterlife, and basically Annette takes her to the fund. The fund says you don't need to be here yet. It's not your time, and sends her back to Earth. And of course, she talks to her friends, but the ending that I got, it was good, but it was kind of bittersweet. And the reason why I said it was bittersweet because it's like even though you and your friends made it out alive, the masked man and his freak shows, his circus, the masked man and his circus, they end up like still living, and they're going to come back to Saintfour, like every 10 decades and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how it ends. You do end up reuniting with your friends and with your love, Luke. But again, to me, I feel like that ending is bittersweet. But it still was a good ending, and I still enjoy the heck out of this story. I really did. Season 3 was actually very awesome. I'm definitely going to read Shadows of Saintfour on my other account as well, because oh my goodness, it was a good story. I enjoyed it. I really truly enjoyed it and stuff like that. I also like the fact that at the end of Shadows, once you're done with Shadows of Saintfour 3, because it's the ending, you even get credits and stuff like that. And so I want to take the time out to shout the people who was a part of Shadows of Saintfour: the project manager Vlad K, the screenwriter Alice C, the technical designers are, I want to say, Anatoly G, Daniil F, and Yuri S. What else? Excuse the quietness. I'm going back on here. But yeah, I'm going on here into okay, so you have the artists Karen B, Marina K, Christina K, Valerie K, Catherine K, Lillian I, Natalia M, You also have another artist, Catherine M, Victor M, Ogley M, Julia M, Igor M, Alexandra M, and Anna N. Then you have more artists, Peter P, Dorian P, Dimitri R, Simeon T, Dimitri T, Victor T, Natalia G. You also have translation and editing, Cephalana M, Nadia O, Irina M, Anna O, and for sound is Dimitri M. And those are the people that basically made Shadows of Saintfour possible. And I just want to thank each and every one of them because I truly enjoy the story, and I do recommend this to anyone who loves horror and a little bit of suspense and thriller as well. I also would like to give Shadows of Saintfour season 3 a 5 out of 5 stars. I know season 1 5 out of 5, season 2 4 out of 5, and season 3 is 5 out of 5. I enjoy the story. I'm definitely going to play this again because I want to see what happens when you play the caution. Because again, I played the courage path. I didn't play the caution, so I'm curious to see what I would get with caution. But yeah, I enjoyed the story. I recommend anyone to read it, especially those who love horror, whether it's reading horror, watching it, or playing it. I feel like this is definitely the story for you. It's a good story. It's very interesting. If anyone has played this as well, please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it so we could just talk and kiki about it. And so that's all I have to say. I don't know what the next story that I'm going. Well, I do have a couple of stories that I'm going to read, but I'm talking about on this account. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm thinking about I'm probably gonna do Theodora next on this account. If not Theodora, it might be Moonborn. You know what? I think it will be Moonborn. I think I'm doing Moonborn next. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do Moonborn next. But yeah, that's all I have to say to this about Shadows of Saintfour. If you have, again, like I said, if you have any comments, please let me know below. If you have anything if you want to talk about this, or if you have a book suggestion that you want me, a game suggestion you want me to play, an interactive story game suggestion that you want me to play, just let me know. Subscribe, comment if you want to. You don't have to. But until next time, see ya.